Hello friends, today I'm going to paint a bright summer landscape. It's easy and I hope you will like the outcome. I'm starting by wetting my paper with clean water using my big mop brush. For the sky I'm using a pale mixture of ultramarine and a touch of burnt sienna. I'm applying the color but leaving some white spaces to depict the clouds. For more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. In my mixture, I add some more burnt sienna to create a more grayish color. I'm using the mixture for the shadows under the clouds. I'm removing some excess water with paper tissue. Otherwise, there will be too harsh and unattractive edges when the paper dries. I'm adding more ultramarine to the mixture and applying it here and there to create a more interesting sky. Now I'm going to mix a dark olive color. I'm taking my smaller brush, Casaneo DaVinci No. 2, and I'm mixing Sap Green, burnt sienna, ultramarine, and a little bit of Alizarin Crimson. I'm varying the proportions until I achieve the color that I want. You can just use your olive watercolor from a tube or a pen. I'm applying the mixture from the bottom part of the paper. The color spreads beautifully on the wet paper. I want to have some dry edges at the bottom to make the painting more interesting. So I'm applying the pigment beyond the area of the paper that I have already wetted. I'm adding a bit of ultramarine and Payne's gray to make the color darker, and I'm applying it over the olive color. I want to make some warmer green. I'm wetting my brush and adding some cadmium yellow to the already made mixture. I'm intentionally leaving small white areas to create interesting highlights in the painting. More cadmium yellow, and I'm making the wash moving from the bottom up. The paper is still wet. With a dark green mixture, I'm painting diagonal lines to create an interesting relief. I'm adding indigo to the mixture and starting painting grass with the tip of my brush. I'm barely holding the brush to keep my movements free and light. A few diagonal strokes using the same color. I am adding dark tones to the foreground to create depth in the painting. I'm checking the wetness of the paper. It's still too wet. And I'm using a hairdryer to dry the paper a little bit. The paper is still a bit wet. I'm taking my brush, Perla by Escoda, and I'm adding a bit of ultramarine to my dark green mixture. I'm starting to paint bushes. I'm adding ultramarine to create shadow parts of the bushes. I'm using a pre-mixed warm yellow-green color that I mixed earlier for the bushes on the left side. more indigo for the shadows. I'm applying diagonal lines with indigo using the tip of my brush. It's semi-dry. The combination of lines painted with a semi-dry brush on dry paper areas always looks interesting next to spots applied using a wet technique. I'm applying the same diagonal lines to the foreground. With the tip of a semi-dry brush, I'm painting the grass using indigo. I decide to add taller grass in a diagonal direction to balance the composition. And I think the painting is ready. I hope you enjoyed the painting process. If you are painting along with me, you are very welcome to post your artworks in my Facebook group for my patrons. The link to my Patreon page is in the description box. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Happy painting!